In these notes, I am going to be going over how to graph radical functions and then do transformations on them. A radical function, remember, is one that has a radical under the variable, a radical with the variable under a radicand, so either the square root symbol or like the cube root symbol. So the first one wants me to graph the function and then say the domain and range of each of them. The first one is the square root of 1/4 of x. So I am going to go to Desmos and type this in. So here's my picture on Desmos. I am going to go ahead and sketch this on my paper. So it kind of looks like this. Then it wants me to give my domain and range. Remember, domain is x, range are my y values. So it starts at 0 and then goes on forever for my domain. So I have x is greater than or equal to 0 because 0 is a point on my domain. And then the same thing for my range. It starts at the y value of 0 and then the graph goes up forever. So the domain starts at at 0 and then goes right forever. And that's why it's greater than. And it's equal to because it can be 0. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and graph my second one. This one is -3 cube root of x. Okay, and this is what this graph looks like. If I zoom out, it keeps going left and right forever. So I'm going to go back to my paper. Oh, I forgot what it looked like already. Kind of like this. It's just a rough sketch so I can see it. My domain, because it's going left and right forever, is going to be all real numbers. And my range, this one's a little bit harder to see. It's slowly going up and it's slowly going down forever. So this is also all real numbers. So whenever I have cube roots, it's actually all real numbers for both domain and range. Okay. Over here I have transformations. We've done this before in last semester. A horizontal translation moves the graph left or right and it goes in parentheses with the x, opposite the sign. So remember, if I have something like x minus 2 under the square root, it would be going to the right 2. If I had plus 3, this would be left 3. Vertical translations are outside the parentheses, or in this case, the radical. So over here I have x plus 7. This is up 7. And then on the bottom I have square root of x minus 1. This one is down 1. So these ones match the signs. Reflections are flipping it over the x or y axis. This one is reflect across y because it's with the x. That is off the screen. And then over here I have reflect across x because it's outside the symbol. Okay. Then I have vertical stretches or shrinks. Those go outside of it. So I have 4 square root of x. This is a vertical stretch of 4. And down below it, can't really see what I wrote off. There we go. I have a vertical shrink of 1/5. Okay. Numbers 3 and 4 want me to describe the transformation of f represented by g and then to graph each function. So here I have those. I have f of x, which is my parent function. It is the square root of x, and g of x is the square root of x minus 3 plus 4. So remember, numbers on the outside, move it up and down. So this is going up 4. And numbers on the inside, move it left and right, opposite the sign. So this one is going right 3. So from my original graph, that's how it's going to change. We know that the square, we don't know actually. So let me go ahead and graph these on Desmos. I have square root of x minus 3 plus 4, and then just square root of x. Whoa. We're supposed to go down here. There you go. My square root of x, it starts at the origin and it goes up forever, so I will do this one in red. So this is my parent function. And then the one that is transforming, it should go up, the starting point should go up 4, and then right 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then it should kind of look just like the one before. Oh, I forgot to change my screens. So. If I take a look at number 4, this 8 outside is going to be a vertical stretch of 8. So that means it makes it skinny. And then the negative is a reflection on the y, or across the y-axis. Okay. So if I go ahead and go graph these two on Desmos, I'm going to start off with the 8 cube root of negative x, and then cube root of x. So the red one is my original graph, and the black one is the transformed one. So you can see it reflects across the y-axis, and then it gets pulled so it's a lot skinnier in the middle. And I will remember to switch my screens before I go ahead and draw these. So this one is my g of x. I will go ahead and label this one too. And the red one was f of x. Okay. So the words I wrote are my descriptions of the transformations here. Okay. Moving on, I have one word problem. It says, let the graph of g be a vertical shrink by a factor of 1/6, followed by a translation 3 units left of the graph of f of x equals the cube root of x, and to write a rule for g. So there are 2 transformations going on here. The vertical shrink and then the moving left. So when I have a vertical shrink, what I do is I take that and I multiply by my original one. So I'm going to take the 1/6 and I just multiply. This original function was the cube root of x. There's really nothing to change here. Then the second one is to go 3 units to the left. So I keep the part I changed in the first part. And then remember, left and right go inside the parentheses, opposite the signs. I will write this in a different color to show you. So left is normally going left. Left is normally going left. Left is normally negative. So I want to make that a positive under the radical. And then this was 3, not 6. Then all I want to do is just rewrite this as g of x equals the cube root of x plus 3. And this is my final answer. Okay, so what I want you guys to do right now is pause the video, take a few minutes to work on 6 through 10, and then when you feel like you are ready, hit play, and then check your answers with mine to make sure you are understanding this. So I'll give you a few seconds to pause, and then I will get started. Okay, so the first two, again, remember, I want you to graph the function and identify the domain and range. So I will go ahead and start by graphing 6 This one is the square root of 1/3 x. So let me press the home button to zoom in. This is what this one looks like. So I'm going to go sketch this on my paper. My domain here, it is again starting at 0 and going right forever. So my domain is x is greater than or equal to 0. Remember, greater than is the right side. Then I want to write my range. My range here also starts at 0 and then goes up forever. So this is y is greater than or equal to 0. Then I want to go ahead and graph number 7. This one is -2 cube root of x. So this is what this one looks like. I'm going to go ahead and sketch it on my paper. That one is a lot better than my number 2. This one, it's going left and right forever. So my domain is all real numbers. And then this one is also going up and down forever. So my range here is also all real numbers. All right. Number 8 is describing the transformation represented by g, and then we need to go ahead and graph it. So this -3 means it goes down 3. And this +2 means it's going left 2. So now we remember what the square root of x looked like. That was just like this. And this was my f of x. G of x should be going left 2 and then down 3. So starting here now. Okay. Over here on number 9, I have a negative on the outside, so this is reflecting on the x-axis. And the 3 is a vertical stretch of 3. So here I am going to draw my f of x. And then my g of x is going to reflect this across and have a stretch of 3. I will graph this one on Desmos to see it first, because it's not as easy as just moving left and right and up and down. So I have -3 cube root of x. So this is what this one looks like. And this one is labeled g of x. All right, then we have our final problem. It says let g be a vertical stretch by a factor of 3, followed by a translation 6 units to the right of f of x equals the cube root of x. So our first step is the vertical stretch. So I will do the change in red and the parent function in blue. So all you do for vertical stretches and shrinks is you multiply by the existing function. So I have 3 times the cube root of x. Then for my second change, it's going to go, it says right, so this goes inside the radical. The 3 is now part of the new function. Right is opposite the sign. Normally right is positive, so now it'll be negative, and it is moving 6 units. So my final answer here is g of x equals 3 cube root of x minus 6.